The cost of living in Spain. Now, I've made this into 2 videos, one before you come to Spain and one after. The second video will be about the monthly costs and how I work it out for the year, but this one is making you aware before you come to Spain, because you don't want to come here and have major problems, especially if you just bought a house and then find out you can't become a resident, for one thing. Just a reminder, left hand corner, there'll be a list of videos there to do with this subject. Now below the video as well will be all the information you need to know about the video, be where I am, the stuff that I use, I'm all about the equipment, the music. Also, don't forget to ring the bell on YouTube. That reminds you when I'm bringing out my next video. Now I bring out videos twice a week. I'm trying to keep it to Tuesdays and Thursdays, but yeah, ring the bell. And you can carry on now. Just give you a bit of information about myself first. So my name's Sean. I'm in my mid-60s now. I've been living here in Spain for 4 years. I live in the Costa Clida, which is the southeast of Spain, the Murcia region. I live in a huge urbanisation on Campusel. It's just about 10 minutes away from the nearest town of Mazarron, 15 minutes away to the beach. Amazing place, I love it here. But anyway, I'm not talking about Campusel, talking about your healthcare. Yeah, I mean, obviously the first question you're going to ask is, can you afford to live here? I think if you can afford to live in the UK, there's a good chance you can afford to live here. There's a couple of things you've got to think about, obviously, and the first one is obviously health. Now, if you're pension age, then you're entitled to the S1 form, which gives you help with the Spanish health system. But if you're not of pension age, then you need private health insurance. Now, the reason why you need private health insurance is if you're going to be living here, once over 3 months, you need to be a resident. So to be a resident, you have to prove that you can look after yourself, and part of that is looking after your health. So with the health, you need private health insurance, which can be quite expensive. And the reason why I've been made aware of this and telling you guys is, if you've had a previous illness, say for instance you had a heart attack, so you had a heart operation and you're on medication, you will find nearly all the private health insurance companies will not insure you. They will only insure you for ongoing. So once you sign that form, anything after that, you're virtually covered. But also be very wary when you're signing these forms for private health insurance, because some of them actually make you pay for the operation and you get your money back that way. But I'm not going into private health insurances, but I'm just making you aware of the expense. Now, for me and my wife, when we first arrived here, we just turned 60. None of us have had really any major problems, and it cost us, for both of us, €200 for the both of us, which is all right, wasn't too bad. We sort of allowed that anyway. We wouldn't allow any more. I don't know what it would be now, but and obviously it goes up each year as well, not by a lot. It's like a bit of like a car insurance, isn't it? If you have an accident, then the premiums go up. So if you obviously have a heart operation, maybe the premiums go up, I don't know. But something to be aware of, because I've known some people who come to Spain, they bought their property, they then thought, okay, we go for residency, and because they can't get private health insurance or they can't support themselves with health cover, they can't become a resident. And if they can't become a resident, you're not allowed to stay in Spain, which then means you've got to sell your property, which, you know, it could be taxed, it's going to cost you a lot of money. So it's something to be made aware of. Now, I think, to be honest, if you're thinking about living here in Spain, you have to come out first, rent. I always suggest renting first, because you're not going to get all that information. You know, you can go online and they can probably give you a quote, but it's not going to be 100%, is it? So just be aware of that, guys. Now, something else you've got to be aware of as well. Now, if you've got private health insurance, then officially, then they should be able to speak English. If you phone up, you get an English operator, and obviously if you're at the hospital, then you'll have access to English-speaking doctors. Now, if you're not under the health system, and I don't mean the Spanish health system, so we've been here now, I'm a resident, I'm on the Spanish health system now. When I go to the hospital, they will not deal with me unless I can understand Spanish or speak Spanish. And if you know me, and if you've been watching my videos, you know I can't speak much Spanish, so you need a translator. So that's going to cost you extra money. You won't get it free. It's not like the UK where you get all this benefit stuff. It's going to have to come out of your pocket. Now, some of these translators are really good. Some of them pay for the appointment and some pay by the hour. And it can be from €10 upwards, you know. So it can be expensive because the system is, as far as I'm concerned, it's no different to the UK. We've gone in at 9 o'clock and not been seen till about midday. So the translator's been sat there for 3 hours doing nothing. Now, a good translator, if they're really good, they're probably doing 2 or 3 people at the hospital. So that's why I said that they probably charge you for the appointment, which is about 35 euros. But others do charge by the hour. So just be aware of that. That is another extra cost that you don't really want. Especially as we get older, we have all these checks for certain things as well. So we need blood samples, and we have to see the doctor. So yeah, you need a translator, because like I just said, the doctor will not deal with you if you can't speak Spanish. So just remember that. The other thing is dentist. Now, I believe in the UK, once you become pension age, you can use the NHS system. I used to, thinking about it. But here they don't. You know, even under the Spanish health system, you're not covered for your teeth unless it's really major surgery. You know, you've got to pay for it. Now, thankfully, here in Spain, I haven't been yet, but from what I've heard, it's a lot cheaper than the UK, and it's pretty good. So, but it's another cost you've got to think about, especially as we're getting older. I suppose the other thing is, if all you got is your state pension, then depending on what your lifestyle is going to be, you might find things a little bit difficult. So just be aware of that, guys. Now, just talking about the residency with your healthcare, that can vary where you go. Now, most places you have to pay up front, so you have to pay a whole year up front to apply for your resident card. Now, some don't do that. I know, because one of my friends did do that. But most will say you've got to pay up front, because obviously they know as soon as you get your resident card, you get rid of your private health insurance. So just be aware of that as well. Obviously, the other thing is tax. I'm not going to go into what you have to pay, because I don't know. I don't understand that. But all I do know is, obviously, you're allowed so much. Now, if you've got property back in the UK, now a lot of people will have a home in the UK that they probably rent out. We ain't got nothing. We've just sold up and come out here. So we got no savings, anything like that. But if you've got savings, and obviously if you've got a property back in the UK, then be expected to pay tax on that. They're pretty hot on it as well. What they tend to do here is, if you don't apply for it you can do most things online here as well, thankfully. You can do it online, or you can go down to your accountant or your lawyer. They can sort it out. Obviously, if you go for a lawyer or solicitor, they're going to charge you a little bit more to pay your tax. Because the other thing you got to think about, if you're on, say you buy a holiday home, then you pay non-resident tax, which is not a lot. Non-resident tax is just the price of the property. I think we paid about, me and the wife, because it's obviously for each of you, we paid about €60. It's the fee that can be expensive. When we used the first year, we used our solicitor. When I say first year, I mean our second year. We used our solicitor, and the fees with the €60 each come to nearly €500. So, and you can do it online. Look on the internet, see how to do that. I don't know, I haven't got any links for it, but just be aware of that as well. So, hope that's given you some ideas and awareness, because to be honest, before I come out to Spain, I didn't really think about that. I didn't think about private health insurance. I just assume it's like a car insurance. You just give me details. And they do go through all, if you had medical problems before, obviously diabetes is probably another one as well. I mean, allow you through that, but obviously the insurance will be higher, because you're more liable to be ill. So just be aware of that, guys. Hope you look forward to the next video on it's going to be called a cost of living in Spain, the monthly cost. So that'll be coming out in a few more weeks' time. So don't forget, ring that bell. And as I always say, you've got to keep watching because you might miss something, and I'll catch you on the next one. And oh yeah, if any of you out there have had private health insurance and you think, oh, I missed something out, please add it below because I don't know everything, but it's always helpful for others because it is a big thing about costs. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.